Tell us about the man.
Right. MJ, career starts 1997 and spans to 2019, so 22 years, a long time in football. Kinloch Cup, best player for Lincoln. That's probably as far back as I can go. I've researched you, but obviously played a lot of junior football with Tasmans and probably, was it back then, the North Adelaide Cup back then, or the Port Adelaide Cup?
I reckon it was Port Adelaide Cup under 15s.
Yeah. EP, rep, under 17s. And obviously for Tasman's 300 plus games and 233 goals, so that's, I think that's about 224 more than Ronnie.
Correct way. There we go.
Get on him!
Have a touch of the hungry bark about it.
Hang on.
I was just a little, luckily I was down the other end.
Yeah, exactly.
For
right.
a few.
Yeah.
Obviously A
Straight
grade,
kick.
A grade premierships in 2012, 13 and 14, a hat-trick of them, and then 2018 and 19 before you retire. Tasman's A grade captain, Mortlock Shield rep in 99 to 2003, and then to 2005 to 2008. Vice captain of Lincoln City in 2003, captain of Lincoln City in 05 and 06. Captain of Port Lincoln, that's when they went away from districts and city and become just Lincoln in 2007. And in that same year you win the Bampton Medalist, which is the best player for the whole carnival, so well done. EP rep 2005, 2006 and 2008. And you can't go much further than, unless you play SANFL football, than representing state, playing state footy for the country, so and that was in 2006. We'll go back to 1997, your very first A grade for Tasmans. Do you remember it clearly? Who was it against and how did you perform?
I definitely remember the game. It was against Waybacks, Ravendale 2 Oval, when we used to play on that side. Actually, Ronnie was the best player for the day, and I ended up getting second best.
No.
I do remember the game. We did lose, but yeah, I still remember Woolley was playing.
Yep.
And Andrew Wolford, he was pretty. One I've definitely looked up to, like just how hard he was. But yeah, I don't remember much of the game, obviously, but you know, it was pretty good to get taken under your wings by a few of those sort of lads. So.
Yeah.
I was only 16 at the time, I think. And, yeah.
Yep.
Come on, lads, come on! Calvin! 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 Frosty on the wing, looking after 5. Come on, lads! Go, boys! Go in.
As I mentioned before, you go on to play over 300 games for the Roosters. What kept you going for so long?
Obviously, the body could do it, but I reckon when I got to 30, I sort of started thinking, geez, am I going to get a flag out of this? And, you know, and got to the point where it's like, I probably wasn't going to retire, but I mean, I was just thought, am I ever going to actually, is it actually going to happen? And then, yeah, we started to get a few good players come in, and yeah, obviously, once we got those good players, I wasn't having to be midfield all the time. Carl let me go down, Carl Semler got me down the forward lines. Made me go a bit further, I guess, like in my body-wise, because I think if I stayed in the middle for you know, next 4 or 5 years, probably could have been, you know, the body would have been definitely calling for a break.
Yep.
But yeah, I think, and just being around the lads, you know, I loved it. Like the camaraderie, you meet so many different people, and that's what you did. You just love footy.
100%.
Yeah.
It was a hard slog for Tasmans Footy Club and for yourself in the first half of your career. From 1997 until 2009, Tasman A grade play 197 games for just 54 wins. Tell us about this challenging time for the club and how you managed to turn it around.
Yeah, definitely a stat I didn't know. So what was it? How many did you say? 100.
Well, it probably works out to about 25%.
25%. So 50 odd wins out of 190 something games. So,
Yeah.
Didn't know that stat, but yeah, I knew it was definitely tough during that time.
MJ, I can remember. You know, he was at the footy. Had been at the footy club forever, and every year he would get poached, or you know, like other clubs would be having a crack at him, but no, he stuck.
Yep.
And he was here with many lean years.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
he got the reward in the end, which was fantastic to see. And
Yeah, that's a
I
good.
think he won 3 flags after the age of 30.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's a good call because he did the hard yards for a long time there when we were
Oh,
we
he
had,
used to get belted from.
when I was
pillar to
coaching, we
post.
had Zach and MJ and not a lot else there for a while, and he used to absolutely get belted, and he was our tough guy.
Yeah.
And he ain't that tall.
Yeah, no. That's,
The thing that I remember about you as a young player was you were always outnumbered out there in the under 10s, and every now and then the scrum would stop, and then the umpire would sort of clear it, and you would be standing there like pissed off as hell while it was over some fella who's lying on the ground because you just had enough.
Yeah.
And because you're always outnumbered.
I think each year you sort of recruit a few different players, and you know they come in and they wouldn't stick around, so you sort of get a few good ones. But I think if you actually kept them,
You couldn't build on it.
you couldn't build on it. I think that was their problem. And a lot of youngsters sort of come through and played, but then they maybe decided to go elsewhere and do something else. But I think that was the biggest part, just not building a side.
Was there, like you mentioned, that you kept on going, you got to 300 games. Was there a time during this period that you thought, you know, I'll hang up the boots, or you just know you wanted to keep at it until you got success?
I think it was just money, go at it until I got the success. But I think, but like I said, I reckon at that time when we first did get our flag, prior to that, I didn't know how long it actually would go, but I think it was just you just did it. I think each year, go to training, do pre-season, felt good, play footy, and wait for the next year. But I think just loving footy. I think that's what kept me going. I think.
Season 2010, Tasman rise from wooden spooners the previous year to clinch the minor premiership, only to be outclassed by Mallee Park in the grand final. The following year, you finished third after losing the prelim in a tight contest against arch rivals Waybacks. What needed to change, do you think, to have success in 2012?
Yeah, I think, well, the loss against Mallee's, it's actually a game I really don't remember because I think I probably didn't want to remember it, I think. Like, it's just, one game that didn't really stick in my head that, that we actually lost that game. Because I've said to a few guys that didn't even know we actually got that far to lose a flag. But yeah, I think to probably get those the first one in 12, I think we recruited a couple more extra lads that had been involved in a lot of premierships, like the Kimber lads, and I think just the vibe they gave and just sort of their trainings was a lot different.
Probably similar to 92, Ronnie, where the recruits we had, they had already tasted premiership. Tim Peach, wherever he went, he won a premiership. There's a few others that, so that sort of installed a bit of belief in us, and probably the same.
And that's what it definitely felt like. I think playing with guys that actually know how to get flags. It's not just go out on the Saturday, play a good game. It's what you do during the week.
Yep,
together,
preparation.
your preparation, you know, it's your training, yeah. And I think, but prior to that, I think a lot of the guys just like to play footy because for fun.
Yep.
And I wanted to win. I wanted the flag so bad. A lot of the players just enjoyed playing the footy, just playing the game. So it's hard when you have a mixture of half guys want to do it and half that just want to play for fun. I think in those eras we had guys that were playing to get a flag.
They wanted to win. 2012, you again claimed the minor premiership. However, you succumbed to your nemesis Mallee Park in the second semi-final. The team, however, responds well to that loss with a commanding 44-point win over Lincoln South in the prelim, and earns the right to correct the wrongs from a fortnight ago. How did you feel about the team's chances entering that 2012 grand final? Pretty confident?
Yeah, I think we definitely were confident because we knew we probably should have. I felt that we should have won that game prior to that, but probably the mentality wasn't there, I suppose, the thinking. But after getting back on track with that South win, I think we definitely went into it a lot more confident than that game we lost against them.
Yep.
And yeah, I think I'm not sure what the score was in that game, but I think we ended up winning like a few goals. I think it was decent. It was yeah.
Yeah, I do have the score here somewhere, but.
I think definitely after the South game we definitely knew that we were in a better stead for that game prior to that semi-final that we played against them.
Yep. Anyway, it works out well. Comprehensive grand final win, and Tasmans win a first A-grade premiership in 20 years. How were your feelings after the siren sounded? Was it an overwhelming feeling of joy, or simply one of relief, given that you waited 15 years to taste premiership success?
Yeah, it was definitely relief, but like to finally get your first one, it was just it was amazing. And I still remember first quarter, I got punched on the jaw, had big skin hanging off it, like needed stitches, and they just taped it up. I still remember after the game, didn't really care at the time because it was like we won a flag, but it was a bit hard when your kids look at your face all half mangled. But
those things you don't feel when you're
exactly. Yeah,
it's
but yeah, awesome feeling.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
In 2013, Tasmans once again finished top of the table after the home and away games and easily qualified for the grand final, courtesy of a 78-point win over Waybacks in the second semi. With Reece Francis in male medal winning form and Johan Wagner dominant up forward, kicking 7 goals, you easily account for Lincoln South in the grand final to make it back-to-back flags. Prior to the start of the 2014 season, you lose star full forward Johan Wagner, who was drafted to AFL side Port Adelaide after entering and winning the Fox Footy TV reality competition, The Recruit. Tell us a bit about this. Was it a feeling around the club? I mean, obviously the club got good exposure out of it, and you would have been happy for Johan.
Yeah, definitely. We were very happy for him at the time, and obviously you want to see anyone succeed, and you don't want to feel like, oh, well, geez, it'd be great to still have him here and that sort of stuff. But to be honest, the team took it like as we could. And it was an exciting time, really, to see someone like that you're good mates with, to go to further their footy in that sort of career. But yeah, I think it showed that we had pretty good sort of we had a good team anyway, as well. So we could, it was as good as a player he is. Like we sort of could still fill the void, I guess, and it sort of showed. But yeah, it was he's a very fanatic guy with footy, so like, you know, he wanted to get to the Pegasus level. Yep. But we were obviously very happy for him to do it at the time. Yeah, well, I think later on he returned a couple of years later to play a part in a couple of more premierships, so that was good as well. That's right, yeah. At the end of the minor round matches in 2014, Tasmans find themselves at the top of the ladder once more, but have to do it the hard way in the final series with a narrow 3-point loss to Malleys in the second semi. The preliminary final was an easy victory against Waybacks, 13-13 to 3-2, and the chances of a three-peat were alive and well. After a tight tussle in the first half of the premiership decided, Tasmans pulled away from the Peckers in the second half and recorded a 38-point win with Mick Hegarty medal winner Cody Mason and coach Carl Semler having outstanding games. 3 in a row, MJ, how did this feel? Oh, it was a bit of a dream. Yep. Yeah, no, like I said, to get one and then, a couple in a row, but that's when we actually kept those players, you know, we had a... continuity. Continuity, yeah, and we didn't, I think the guys sort of thought, we're building on something here, like everyone committed to being around for each year, I guess, and 3 in a row was amazing, to be honest. We had some good players, a lot of good players in those years. Well, can you tell me a bit about Carl Semler? Yeah, Carl. Well, that was one of the biggest sort of pulls that we got to get him over from Harbour Range. You know, like wasn't just like his footy nous. It was more like people wanted to be around him as well. Like people wanted to play for him. So he recruited pretty well. And that's sort of definitely what kept my career going, is like Carl coming over. We got, just the recruits we ended up getting, and like I think when I played against him, when he was at Harbour Range, he was the type of guy you sort of wanted on your team because you knew he had good skills, but not just that, he had the morale of the team, you know. So good leader. Good leader, yeah. Yep. Further premierships were to come in 2018 and 19 before you decided to hang up the boots. You finished your career as a 5-time premiership player. Is there one flag that stands out more than the others, or? Oh, probably obviously the first one, I think, but. The ones when we obviously beat Mallee Park, the biggest win, that was really good. I remember even seeing Jack Johncock a week or two later, and he said, "Look, that's the biggest belting we've had, you know, in the final." And that was probably a good one as well. But look, any of them, I reckon. How many A grade grams? How many A grade? No, I reckon I've only got 4. I don't think I got 5. So I got 2012, 13, 14, and 18. So 19. I ended up doing my hamstring. Okay. I did my hamstring on a Thursday night before training. Yep. And this is when Boyd was coaching, and I said to him, "Look, no, it's no good. Like it's twinged." And he goes, "Look, thanks for being honest, because I quite easily could have said, ready to go, and get out there and not perform and get a flag, but it wouldn't have felt right." Yeah, gotcha. And then, but anyway, then Dino Collins was coaching the B grade, and he's like, "Look, wouldn't mind you coming. Can you play?" And I've just twinged my ham, and he said, "Look." There was a couple of guys there that sort of probably weren't really up to playing, and I sort of said, "Oh, I'll do it." And I started I think it was actually a game Carl played too. Yeah. Carl played in that piece as well because he was coming back from an injury as well, I think. And then anyway, we lost to South by 3 goals in that game. I started in the forward lines. I think I kicked the first goal, half time. And then they're like, "Well, can you go in the middle?" I'll try. So I'm in the middle here getting the footy, and I could not sprint. I just couldn't power off. So here I had to handball, and you just felt useless. But so that, and then obviously A grade won that year. So I was sort of I was a bit devoted about it, but I definitely knew I wasn't going. Or rather, there was a couple of young lads that were up for for selection. So I can't remember who it was, but it might have been Zach Mills. No, I'm not sure. One of the lads. Got a game for that, and so I'm sort of happy that they did, because, like I said, I could have escaped through it, and but it wouldn't feel right.
Yeah. Anyway, 4's a good effort, and it's 3 more than me and Ronnie. So, well done.
Yeah, nice, Kimber!
One's hard enough, let alone getting all them.
How important was it, do you feel, as I call it, the Kimber connection during the club's string of premierships? 6 flags in 9 years, to be precise.
Yeah, and that's going back to the part where I was saying that those guys, they grew up, you know, in juniors, and they're all together. They're winning flags in juniors grades, and then get to A grade, and they're still doing it. So, like I said, I think I just yeah, you can't just go into like a season thinking you're going to win. But I think those guys just, they just, I don't know, they'd had it. So, but a lot of them, they were very skillful footballers. Like you had Brent Harris, both the Seal lads, the Clements boys, obviously Reece Francis. There's probably a couple others I'm not mentioning there, but
I think Jesse Kemp's probably another.
Kempy, oh yeah,
Kimber.
Yeah. It was definitely quite a handful, and it was great to, you know.
Yeah.
They weren't just, they were very good footballers. So.
Carlos! You're right! You're right! You're right! You're right! Carlos! Penny D! Let's go for a flank. Put Ricky in the middle. You go down forward.
Yeah, and that was a product of, particularly in the Seals and the Clements case, their dads played at Tasmans.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
Ronnie's era, so.
Yeah.
No. Only that one there, so I don't know.
The hardness of it, but the skillfulness, but also just didn't shirk anything, just took it.
Hold him up, that's the way! Stuff, Riso! Well done, Juffy, well done! Oh! Well done, Juffy! Kelsey! Run off! Off! Reggie! Lucky back! Grab Freaky! Grab Freaky! Put him off the bench. Yeah, just wait till it's out. Tackle! Sharpie, next to him! Next to him, Sharpie! This way! Benny! Hold! Hold, Benny! Reggie! One up! Reggie, hold! Go! Push back! Sima, Sima, Sima! Look short! Sima! Hard! Get in there! What's that? Got him in there, to him! He doesn't want it, get him, get him! Push mids up to this wing.
Yeah, amazing. They were great, good footballers.
Yeah. You also had a strong representative career. Tell us a bit about what it meant to you to pull on the Lincoln City, Port Lincoln EP, and ultimately the SA Country team jumper. What did it mean to you?
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, obviously, you know, growing up, you aspire to play at the highest level. And I think Lincoln City was obviously the start of it.
Yep.
You know, first of all, you just want to make Kinlow and all that sort of stuff going through. And after that, yeah, you know, the players you're playing with, like, you know, Matty Goodwin, Whitey, those sort of lads, you know, they played the similar sort of footy with as I did. And when you're playing on the same side, that's you know, it's really good to play with guys like that.
Yep.
And then yeah, obviously the Lincoln side, that was good. But yeah, and obviously yeah, you win that medal that was big, I suppose. To, you know, win a carnival medal.
Yeah.
That felt, you know, there's a bit of pride in that.
Yep.
But yeah, then obviously yeah, I think it was the year after, got the call from Don McSweeney, and it was luckily because I think I was borderline for getting in the state game. And young Georgie Pedler, he got drafted to play for Woodville, West Orange at the time, and yeah, so they sort of said, look, we don't want you playing your state game early on, because it was well before the season started. So as soon as I got the phone call, I was like, geez, all right, I could get training. I think they rang Rusty, because I was working with Cliffy Carpenter, and they rang Rusty, and he's like, oh, I've got Don on the phone for you. I was like, oh, okay. And he tells me, yeah, like, I was going to, you know, willing to play a state game. I was like, yep. But yeah, just having to go to training like in, I think it was January. It was a bit early, maybe it could have even been in December actually, I'm not sure, but it was a few years, had to get sort of organised for that. But yeah, that was the pinnacle of my sort of career. I was really playing in a state game. You know, you're playing against guys, or with guys, they were 6'4" on a forward flank. You know, they would be centre forward on any other side, and they were, you know, all guns. So yeah, that was pretty.
And it probably, you know, the fact that Tasmans as a club was struggling then, the fact that you could then play in those successful teams would have been good, you know. And a lot I've heard this a lot, that people really want to play more like Shield, because, you know, their club is struggling, so here's an opportunity to...
Exactly, and that's exactly what it was probably. Yeah. You know, we weren't getting the success of playing in, you know, finals for starters, let alone getting into a granny. We were always maybe fifth and sixth. You know, maybe get to fourth and then get knocked out straight away. And, you know, so yeah, that was definitely what made me want to play at that level.
James, played some EP footy with him.
I coached him in under 10s.
Did you?
Yep. When he first came to Lincoln, well, first came to Tasman certainly. Yeah. He was great. He was very hard back then.
Great
tackling, but he just smashed him with the hip and shoulder.
Yep, he was a midfielder in the EP side.
Yep.
Inside mid too.
Yep. Gun.
Yep. And what was it like to be coached by Tasman legends such as Butch Pedler, David Steckel, Carl Semler, and of course your childhood hero Ronnie Evans? That must have been a bit of a thrill for you.
Yeah, no, learned a lot from all of them. Like I said, starting with Butch, yeah, just seeing, like, you know, I probably got him maybe at the end of his career, obviously, but like to see all the photos and what he had done prior to that. But like, he spoke well and got the best out of you. Yeah, Sticks was another one too. Like he was amazing. Like playing with him, and also like just to know, you know, he played, I think it was 280 odd games, like for South Adelaide.
Sandford Life member.
Yeah, so
yep.
you know. it just came, that just came from all of his experience and the knowledge that he had to pass on to everyone. And he was very good coach. But like now, I think every one of them have been. You got to be good at some stage to be able to explain, to talk to the lads, but they also still be negative to them as well. Like can't just be all
can't sugarcoat it all.
Exactly. So I think every coach, and like Ronnie, he said before, it is a tough role. When some of us aren't all born to be coaches, and I don't think I don't see myself as being an A-grade coach. Like I've done juniors. I reckon I'm good with the juniors, just to be able to get them up. But as far as an A-grade coach, I don't really, doesn't appeal to me. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
each to their own.
But you are involved again.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so it's obviously good because obviously my lad's been over at Boston's because we didn't have juniors for a few years. Now he's seniors. It was good that he wants to come back, and now I'm sort of assistant runner and helping with race out this year.
Yep.
So it's good to be involved, but so now I'm starting to do that. They're all like, "Oh, you want to put the boots back on?" I was like, "I've had 4 years out of it now."
Moving all right, MJ.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. And now when I do start running around, I'm going, "Oh, yeah, I could do this," but I'm not copying any bumps. I'm just out there running around. So yeah. No.
But just quickly, your lad coming back to Tasman's obviously very, very proud.
Yeah.
That was his decision? Or?
Yeah, yep, no, it was definitely his. I've always said, but I explained it. I said, look, you sometimes you just see who's coaching too. Like, while you're at Boston's, it was good for the juniors. Once he got the first year, he thought I better do the right thing and give him 1 year of seniors because they looked after him pretty well. Yep. And then I just said, look, it's up to you where you go, where you want to stay. I said, he obviously knew in his heart that he'd like to go back to Tassie's, and I reckon I always knew he would at some stage. I think it was great that Reece come on board because he just wanted some youngsters to work with. That was what he wanted, and he probably wouldn't have come across. He probably would have stayed at, I think he got offered at Marble Range. But if Cooper and a couple of lads like Jagger Christian, which is Zach's lad, he come over. Timmy Dennis, he was another Tassie lad, so they all come back. Sort of helped him out to make that decision. So it's pretty good handing him the 28 Guernsey again. So that kept that number going.
Good job.
Obviously, over such a long career, you get to play with and against some pretty special footballers. Who, in your opinion, would be your toughest opponent, and who are some of the better players you played with, either at Tasmans or association level?
Yeah, there's been a lot of them. I reckon to play against, probably I reckon Paul White. Probably one of the toughest opponents because he was very hard, and like if you were had the head over the ball, so did he. Like it was one to sort of back out of it. Back the years ago, David McFarlane, Macca, when he first came across.
Marble Range.
Yeah, and that was sort of like when felt like I was in my prime as well, and he was off a back flank running down, kicking goals and setting up play, and it was hard when you're in midfielder trying to stop that because you're like, hang on, he's out here doing it while I'm trying to get the footy for the midfield. So it was he was another good player. Obviously, then you had I think back in the day, Rawley, just to see him, I obviously didn't stand him, but he was pretty good to watch. But there's been plenty. Malcolm Miller, like Mally, he was very good. And playing with, for one, Glenn Tonkin. Yep. I think you said before about walking tall with players on the field. When I was next to him in the ruck, I felt a lot stronger. He was a pretty good footballer. Tapped it down my throat plenty of times. So, but I could rattle off a lot of them. There's probably plenty there. Matty, good one. There's so many names.
Some good names you mentioned there. Who were some of the characters involved in the club at your time? We've spoken probably in Ronnie's area, with Brian Gardner's and Dave Russell's, Sid Dowd, so many, and obviously in your area there's going to be others.
Well, I think like Ron said before, you be at the club, you've got a lot of different players that come each year. For one, remember Teddy Brennan? He was one of my good mates when he came, and he was just a good. We had a lot of guys from Darwin come down, and he was one of them. We had like Mundy, Nicky, and those sort of boys. They were sort of very, very good characters, but they didn't stick around. They were there for a year, sadly, and off they went again. We had, I don't know, there's so many. Off the top of my head, I think you said most of them. Even now you got Prouty. I reckon he's a bit of a character, Steve Prout. He's passionate. Yep. There's been a lot of them like that though, but nothing really jumps off the top of my head. It's a funny sort of a character, but seen a lot of them.
Lastly, MJ, what does a Tasman Football Club mean to you today?
It's you know, it's definitely, like Ron said, it's a family club. You know, it's what's definitely built us and kept us all together. Even now, like we've had to obviously change a little bit through. And now it's obviously Tasman Imperial. You know, it has lost the Tasman Roosters, I guess.
Yep.
You know, so deep down, it's not. You know, it doesn't sit perfectly with me, I suppose. But there's a few sort of that way as well. But you know that you've sort of got to do this. Like obviously, you know, maybe a year or two's time with the amalgamations. Yeah. It's good to have, you know, a netball
stability. Yep.
Club with you, it's a bit of stability. But yeah, it's definitely been a big part of my life. Is been football and Tasman's Footy Club. Yep. Had opportunities to go elsewhere, but yeah, definitely. Like I just wanted that flag with the club, and once I got that, it was pretty good feeling, I guess, and glad that I didn't ever leave.
Yeah. MJ?
Yeah.
Thanks for chatting with us, and you're, like Ronnie, a legend of the club.
Cheers, mate.
True story. Thanks very much, MJ. Excellent. You're our ledge. Thanks, Ronnie.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. You've done well.
Thank you.